Hello, this is Reverend Lynn Capron, live streaming a coffee break from our sanctuary for the very first time. And we're doing it in here in preparation for our Sunday worship service, which will also be live streamed from the sanctuary for the very first time. And we're trying out the equipment, but it's much more awesome than that because Allana Pomponio, one of our church members, has agreed to be interviewed and to tell some interesting stories to us today for this coffee break. So thank you for being here, Allana. And I also wanted to let you know that Liz Hathaway has been sitting behind the camera and the computer for a long time this morning, making sure that all the equipment is working for this live stream, both for today and Sunday. And that Nicole Shaw is also consulting with this process from off campus, making sure that you can see it from your home computer. So Allana is here today because this Sunday's service of worship is about creation, about the beauty of creation, about the role of people of faith in relationship to creation. And she has agreed with my assessment that she has devoted most of her life to her passion for our environment. And it's very much touched me and moved me deeply. And so she is going to tell you a little bit about her story of how she is becoming and has become a leader in this area. Allana?
So I've definitely been passionate about this for a while, ever since taking classes on it. And I think it's become bigger than myself since I've had influence on other people, as you mentioned. Definitely within the church, I've seen progress that makes me really excited to see what will happen in the future. Like using reusable utensils at the fish fry was definitely a big step in the right direction. And even with individuals, I've seen, like you said, using reusable utensils, taking them with you instead of using plastic. So recently, over the past year, I've done I was in the environmental club at my college, and we've made bat houses around campus that I actually think was really interesting because I didn't know much about them before learning about them through the club. But the certain species of bats are endangered, so we provided housing for them so they can like rebuild their populations on campus and hopefully further that. Um, yeah, and so I definitely think that like small changes can be made and are being made currently. It's not something that an individual can do alone, and really something that like the community has to kind of build up for it to have a bigger impact. But individuals can definitely take certain steps, like using reusable instead of plastic utensils, paper plates. Definitely things like that can like make an impact.
And sometimes as an individual thinking maybe that nobody's seeing you, but then you look back and you say, oh, other people have seen me and followed. Like, I think you had an experience like that in high school, right?
Yeah, so every day on campus, I would pick up pieces of trash every morning on my way to class. And the walk was only about 5 minutes. But so I would be doing that every day. And I kind of realized that no one was, I mean, you expect that people will follow by example, and no one was really doing that. So it kind of made me realize that people don't really care as much as they may think that they do about the environment. And it's really sad, it's upsetting because people don't take it as seriously as they need to. But a few times there were people who came up to me while I was doing it and thanked me for doing it, but no one really, you know, came with me and joined me. So I really thought that was interesting and something that needs to be changed.
Yes, and thank you for putting yourself out there by telling us the story. That's a little bit of a risk that you took, and so we appreciate that. It reminds me of a saying from scripture where Jesus was talking to some of the people in his hometown when they were upset with him. And he said, "No prophet is without honor except in his own hometown." And so, to have somebody who's a student in high school trying to lead by example and nobody there following would actually be very much in fulfillment with that observation of just human nature. But I will say that Alana's own mother, and maybe also father, I'm not sure, but I know definitely her mother, has changed a lot of her practices. And so you're already impacting your own family as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for leading by example. And that's how cultures change, is by people acting and speaking on the strength of their own values and convictions. And other people become attracted to that. And eventually things do change for the better. So you also, by the way, may have noticed that we're both sitting here in our masks on camera, which is a little awkward, but we needed to be a little closer than 6 feet together. And we are keeping to our commitment that if you are on campus, you are wearing the mask above the nose and below the chin, unless it's a very unusual situation, you're sitting still at a workstation and no one else is in the room, or very, very carefully prescribed locations for when we lead worship. So please forgive the awkward look of the masks. May God bless you all as you continue on with your day. Bye-bye.